आज तकलीफ हो रही होगी सैटरडे को आते हुए? नहीं, अच्छा लग रहा है। ओके, तो कहाँ तक हम लोगों ने कर लिया है? We have written all the note and etc. No? Okay. Okay. So how has Locke described matter? What is the description of matter in Locke's theory? Suppose support of qualities. So this is an assumption he is making, just an assumption. Okay, and what is soul? Mental qualities. Okay, and it's known intuitively. Hai na? And God. God is like infinite substance. Okay, so these are the three things he has accepted as substance. Now he faced a problem, coming back here, that there is this object and here we are, perceiver. Now from this object, there is something which is coming, which he says as sensation and forming an idea in our mind. This idea in our mind is known as idea. Hai na? It starts with simple idea, then our mind makes complex ideas in simple terms. Now there is this problem that Locke is facing. What is the color of this bottle's cap? और बताओ. अच्छा, ये नहीं हो पाएगा. सियान नहीं, और कुछ है वो दिखाना पड़ेगा ना, कुछ और एम्बिगुअस. कोई ऐसा सा कलर दिखाओ मुझे जो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट हो. हाँ हाँ, ये दिखाओ. अरे ये तो बड़ा सही सुंदर है. क्या है ये? इसे यूज करके देख सकते हैं. भाई साहब, ग्लिटर हाइलाइटर है ये, हल्के में मत लो. शाइनी अंडर लाइटिंग. कितने के आते हैं? फुल पैक. तुम गलती करोगे तभी तो मंगवाऊंगी. ऐसे ही थोड़े ना. Okay, tell me, what is the color of this highlighter? Mauve, pink. कौन सा? Blood red? Faded red. अच्छा अच्छा. हाँ? Skin. Peach. Orangish. ऑनलाइन वाले बच्चे आज कुछ क्यों नहीं बोल रहे? उनको दिख नहीं रहा क्या? थोड़ा सा कलर का दिख रहा. हाँ, तो तुम लोगों ने तो इतना डिफरेंस वैसे ही कर दिया आपस में, सामने सामने. तो कितने कलर्स? So how many colors we have seen here with on the same item? Pink, peach, orange, faded red, mauve. Anything? Any more? Brown, skin. So this means this same thing which I have shown you, but you all have perceived it so differently. Isn't it? So this means if the quality of this color, or if the quality is in the object, then why you people are saying different names? That is why, na? So if the color is in the object, if color is in the object, then you all must be perceiving the same thing, right? And you all must say the same color. But this is not so. You people are perceiving it differently and saying different colors. So now there is this problem. Why is there subjectivity in our experience? A block is like, हाँ भाई बात तो सही है ना. There is this subjectivity. How to then say that qualities are only in object? Now he starts the distinguishing between the primary and the secondary qualities. He says that this object has two types of qualities. Rather not object. So object के अंदर तो एक ही है. Primary qualities. Primary qualities like solidity, motion, etc. Figure. Right? So all of these primary qualities are within object. Because he gives an example that if we take a object, pathar, or maybe, if we take some aloo, and if we keep mashing it, we go to the last point, but it's still solid. Has the solidity gone? No, it's still solid. It still has some figure. If something is in motion, then it still has the ability of motion. So according to Locke, there are only some 6 primary qualities which are found only in the object, and which remains unchanged. Like if the dimension of this pen is maybe 12 centimeter, then will it be different for you? कितना है? नापा है ना 12 centimeter. 12. It will not change. Anything, this thing will not change. The dimension will not change. Solidity will not change. That will remain there. And which is same for all. So now, according to Locke, there are certain qualities which are known as primary qualities, which are objective in nature, because they are same for everybody. On the other hand, these primary qualities have power to create secondary qualities within us. है ना? So secondary qualities are just the power within primary qualities to stimulate some kind of effect like color. अच्छा, इसको एक और एग्जांपल से समझाती हूँ, साइंस से समझ में आएगा. What is the color of sky? What is the color of sky? अच्छा, why does sky look blue? Scattering of light. Okay. When we see a green leaf, so the leaf color is green or no? What happened? How many of you know that a green colored leaf is not having green color? It is just reflecting the green color. पता है ना? This is a black phone cover. Why is it looking black? It's not reflecting anything. Everything is absorbed. Why is this tissue paper white? It's reflecting everything. So, अब समझ में आ रहा है थोड़ा थोड़ा, है ना? It's that thing. So according to Locke, there are these secondary qualities which are a kind of a result of primary qualities, and therefore these subjective qualities are in the mind, not in the object, and these are subjective. These are subjective, absolutely subjective. Example, if you have the if there is a hot water and there is a cold water. Now, if you put both of your hands, one in hot, one in cold, and then you take both of your hands and put it in a normal water, what is the temperature of that water? It will be different. For the hand which was in hot water, it will appear cold. For the hand which was in the cold water, it will appear hot. So this means that temperature itself is subjective. So what is the temperature of water? It has no temperature. It is only that relative experience that you get. समझ में आ रही है बात? हिंदी वालों के लिए भैया एक गर्म पानी था, एक ठंडा पानी था. नॉर्मल पानी में हाथ दिया तो एक हाथ को गर्म लगा, एक हाथ को ठंडा लगा, तो ये डिफरेंस क्यों आया? Because of this secondary quality. Temperature is a secondary quality according to Locke. Locke ने बोला that the experience of temperature is a secondary quality. ठीक है? Okay. So let us write a little bit about these primary and secondary qualities. Okay. According to Locke, heading difference between primary and secondary qualities. कैसे लिखना चाहते हो बताओ? क्या हो जाता है? सकरा सकरा कंजेस्टेड हो जाता है. ओके. According to Locke, matter is the unknown substratum of primary qualities. Matter is the unknown substratum of primary qualities. Full stop. Locke realized that while some qualities were same for different people in an object, while some qualities were same for different people, but other qualities invoked different experience in different people. Full stop. To resolve this, he gave his theory of primary and secondary qualities. Full stop. Second point, according to Locke, primary qualities are present within the object, and leave their representations in our mind. Full stop. On the other hand, secondary qualities are not in the object, but are powers based on primary qualities, which create subjective ideas in our mind. Full stop. First heading, primary qualities. मैं ना दोनों लिखवा दूंगी आपको, है ना? Why? Because sometimes the question is on primary and secondary qualities, then you can write like in a prose format, in paragraph format, but sometimes the difference is asked. So ultimately you have to see the contrast between the two. So first we write the paragraph form, then quickly we will write the differentiating form also. Primary qualities. First point. They are inseparable from matter or object. In other words, they exist in the substance. In other words, they exist in the substance. Second point. Primary qualities are essential to all objects. Primary qualities are essential to all objects and cause ideas in our mind which represent the object. Leave ideas in our mind which represent the object. Example. Solidity is found in object. Example. Solidity is found in object which corresponds to the idea of solidity in our mind. Which corresponds to the idea of solidity in our mind. Third, they are objective and do not change in context to the viewer. They are objective and do not change in context to the viewer. Next, primary qualities do not depend on mind. Primary qualities do not depend on mind. Next, primary qualities can exist without secondary qualities. Primary qualities can exist without secondary qualities. The 6 primary qualities are, 6 ही है सिर्फ. 6 primary qualities are solidity, extension, third figure, solidity, extension, figure, motion, rest and number. Solidity, extension, figure, motion, rest and number. अब इसका वो बताओ, mnemonic. Same friend, SEMFRN. है ना, सेम फ्रेंड. मतलब सेम फ्रेंड, वो सेम की स्पेलिंग गलत है इसमें बस. लॉक, हमने कब का लॉक सही है. हाँ, हाँ. Shape illusions. Again, there might be difference between what is there, what we are seeing. If I have a weak eyesight, है ना, and there is something which is standing far away. So maybe a rectangle is standing, but I'm not able to see the rectangle shape. I might see something blurred. So my simple idea of something blurred is true. But if you ask me what is the shape and I say circle, then I'm wrong. है ना? भी कुछ blur सा है, मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा, तो मुझे क्या बोलना चाहिए? I'm not able to tell, there is something blurred. But if my mind tries to make a shape out of it and says it is a circle, then its knowledge becomes wrong. From the same point of view you will judge ना, है ना? You will judge it from the same point of view. Okay? हाँ, 6 लिख ली. बताओ. F, हाँ F. Figure. Rest. Number. Very good. है ना? सब बता सकते हो? बैक बेंचर भी बता सकते हैं. हाँ बताओ. देख रहे हो? वो कह रहे हम पीछे बैठते हैं लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है, हमें आता नहीं है. ओके. हाँ, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इसी के अंदर आगे लिख लो. अकॉर्डिंग टू लॉक, प्राइमरी क्वालिटीज आर नॉट कॉज्ड बाय एनी इनेट कॉन्सेप्ट्स. प्राइमरी क्वालिटीज आर not caused by any innate concepts, rather they exist in matter. Rather they exist in matter. Primary qualities are not caused by any innate concepts, rather they exist in matter, and we know them through sensation. बिल्कुल perfect. We know them through sensation. Example. If we take an apple and divide it into parts, still each part will retain solidity, extension, figure, etc. Full stop. Howsoever we may reduce, still primary qualities cannot be separated from matter or object. Still primary qualities cannot be separated from matter or object. ठीक है? प्राइमरी क्वालिटीज पे सफिशिएंट मिल गया आपको ऑर्डर. सेकेंडरी क्वालिटीज, तो समथिंग विच इज इन मोशन remains the same. Speed यार 10 km/h. So 10 km/h is 10 km/h for everybody. अभी ब्लॉक गलत साबित हो जाएगा. Wait for some time. Next philosopher Berkeley will reject this primary and secondary qualities distinction, है ना? And he will reject it very nicely. Don't worry. Ma'am, if we make juice of apple, but it is still solid, particles, है ना? अब जूस से तुम लोगों को लिक्विड मान लोगे उसको, मतलब पार्टिकल्स तो उसके सॉलिड ही रहेंगे यार. तुम लोगों ने छलनी से छान के जो निकाल देते हो ना, Locke is not right. Locke's theory is not right. This will be refuted by Berkeley. But he just created this distinction to explain his own theory. नीचे करना एक बार. We use water or coconut to make. तुम लोग जूस बना लो पहले. Ma'am, how primary qualities do not depend on mind? Because they are found in the object. According to Locke, primary qualities are found in the object. Therefore, they do not change according to our own perception. So whether I watch it, you watch it, or anybody else watch it, if it is a primary quality, we will perceive it as same. Example, if there is this 6 centimeter pen, then it will appear as 6 centimeter me to according to Locke. To me also 6 centimeter, to you also 6 centimeter. But Locke will be proven wrong. Don't worry. है ना? So he is not right in this manner. मतलब we are teaching you wrong so that we can correct you later on in another philosopher. Fine. This is what is his theory. It's an unacceptable theory. But because he gave this theory, we could reach to a correct conclusion later on. Okay? ठीक है? Secondary qualities. Secondary qualities are not in the object themselves. Secondary qualities are not in the objects themselves, but are powers of primary qualities, but are powers of primary qualities to produce sensations in us. Powers of primary qualities to produce sensation in us. Example, color, taste, sound, etc. Color, taste, sound, etc. Sound कैसे? तुम्हारी मम्मी बोलती है ना, your mother speaks. The sound of your mother appears to be very sweet. The same sound appears very harsh to your father. And this same sound appears very rude and very, 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 very thorny to your kisko? You all people know. We are talking about able-bodied people, like all are okay, है ना? हो जाए बात अलग है, लेकिन है नहीं अभी. Okay, next point. So first point. As secondary qualities do not exist in substance, therefore they are mere effects. Produced by mind by the virtue of by the virtue of primary qualities. Second point, secondary qualities do not represent anything existing in object itself. Secondary qualities do not represent anything existing in the object itself. Same ही बात है, अलग तरीके से. Object itself. Third, secondary qualities are subjective. Therefore, vary from viewer to viewer या फिर observer to observer. Next, secondary qualities depends on mind. Next, secondary qualities are powers dependent on primary qualities. अब मैंने ना वैसे ही लिखवा दिया तुम लोगों को कि तुम लोग इसको डंडा भी मार के कर लो तो दोनों इक्वल साइड आ जाएंगे. Except primary qualities, all qualities are secondary. Example, sound, taste, color. All qualities except 6 primary qualities are secondary qualities. Example, sound, taste, color. Example तो लिख ही सकते हो taste का, है ना? If I give you a apple, so someone will say बहुत मीठा है, very very sweet. Someone will say फीका. Someone will say खट्टा है ना? So it's a different perception that you have for your tastes. फिलोसोफर बन जाओ पहले तुम लोग. ठीक है. बिल्कुल. No, actually the problem is that you will have to identify certain primary qualities because he has accepted matter, no? Have you seen that he has accepted the matter as a support of qualities? Like he was like, on which basis are you supposing it? So he has to create something which is in the object. So those things are primary qualities which are in the object. No. So according to Locke, primary qualities are in the object and they create a representation in our mind. Secondary qualities are not in the object. It is just the impact of primary qualities in our mind. Secondary qualities is not in the object. Where is it? It is a power of primary quality to create certain sensations in our mind. So that is why each one of us interpret or each one of us sense the secondary qualities differently because they are not in the object. They are creation of our own brains. They are creation of our own brains. Simple. गलत साबित हो जाएगा. Don't worry. ये गलत साबित होने के लिए ही थ्योरी है. Okay? समझ में आया? So primary qualities are found in the object. When we sense it, we have the ideas of primary qualities. At the same time, they create secondary qualities within our mind. Effect create कर रहा है वो. यहाँ पर नहीं है secondary quality. उनका impact हमारे पे आता है तो secondary qualities get created. And this primary and secondary qualities, the sensations they create, form the simple ideas. And then the perception, retention, and then complex ideas. Simple ideas are never wrong. No. Take it. So the hand which was in the hot water and when you put it in the normal water, it felt cold. Is it false? Understandable? Okay. Illustration भी लिख लो इसमें. लिख लो illustration. Hot and cold water. लिख लोगे example खुद? क्या लिखवाऊं? लिख लोगे? लिखो सुनूंगी मैं. Can we say primary qualities are limited to 5 senses only? No. 5 senses we have: touch, taste, smell. These are more secondary qualities. It's not according to the five senses. Solidity. No. Solidity extension will remain. And that is why Berkeley will come and criticize it. This is how Berkeley will reject matter, no? Don't worry. Berkeley will solve your problem. है ना? Just wait for the Berkeley. Next heading, why Locke has accepted secondary qualities. Why Locke has accepted secondary qualities. Locke explains that that smell or a taste of fruit. Locke explains that a smell or taste of a fruit may appear different to different people. May appear different to different people. But there cannot be any difference of opinion or doubt. Opinion or doubt when we are discussing about solidity or extension of a thing. When we are discussing about solidity and extension of a thing. ये सब दुकानों पे मिल जाता है? नहीं, मैं पूछ रही हूँ। तो हमारे टाइम पे तो नहीं आते थे इतने सुंदर सुंदर हाइलाइटर। बताओ यार, है? नहीं, मेरे को पता करना है कि ये सब कहाँ दिखता है। एक बार बताइए क्या हुआ, मैं सीपी गई थी अपने ब्रदर की शादी की शॉपिंग के लिए, तो वहां पे ना चश्मे मिलते हैं ना, वो आजकल चलता नहीं है, वो हल्दी पे चश्मे पहनते हैं हम लोग, वो सब लोग पहनते हैं, सारे परिवार पहनता है, तो हम लोग है ना वो मैं चश्मे खरीदने गई थी सस्ते वाले कि सारे सबको देंगे हम लोग। तो मैं वहां पे सड़क पे किसी से बार्गेनिंग कर रही थी कि नहीं भैया 200 का दो, 200 का दो, 150 का दो। वहां पे स्कूल के कॉलेज के बच्चे आ गए, वहां पे पास में कॉलेज है कमला नगर के पास, बहुत सारे बच्चे आ गए। फिर उन्होंने उन्होंने कहा मैम सेल्फी और ये सब, तो फोटो वोटो खिंचाने लगे। तो वो उसको जो चश्मे पा रहा था ना, मैडम आप तो इतने बड़े आदमी हो। फिर तो उसने बार्गेनिंग के नाम पे कुछ नहीं दिया मुझे। फिर तो उतने का ही दिया उसने क्लासेस। लेकिन ठीक है, हाँ डिसएडवांटेज भी है उसके कई सारे। ठीक है, ये वाला कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आ गया? Why he has introduced the concept of secondary qualities and primary difference, why he created this? Okay. After this, write theory of knowledge. Theory of knowledge by Locke. Theory of knowledge. Theory of knowledge को ना हम headings में लिखेंगे, है ना? Because Locke की theory of knowledge पे अगर question आता है, then most of the time people don't know what to write. They just know one or two things and then they become fumbled what to write and what not to write. So we will study this in headings of First heading, nature of knowledge. First heading is nature of knowledge. According to Locke, knowledge is inductive. According to Locke, knowledge is inductive in procedure and not deductive. Knowledge is inductive in procedure and not deductive, as Descartes and Spinoza had thought. As Descartes and Spinoza had thought. Full stop. According to Locke, knowledge starts with particular facts. According to Locke, knowledge starts with particular facts of experience and make generalization and make generalizations from them. Make generalizations from them. Full stop. It does not start with any self-evident innate ideas. It does not start with self-evident innate ideas and deduce other truths and deduced other truths from it. Deduced other truths from it. Rather, knowledge is derived from experience. Rather, knowledge is derived from experience and ideas are constructed out of it. Ideas are constructed out of it. This theory of Locke is known as a posteriori theory of knowledge. A posteriori theory of knowledge. A posteriori theory of knowledge. Very simple. So, before him, what was the rationalist's point of view? That there is a self-evident truth and we must deduce things from it. So this was this axiom they were after. And once they reached axiom, they started knowing or started unfolding the knowledge through deductions. But what is the empiricist's way? First, experience. And from that experience, you make certain generalizations. Example, वही वाला difference है inductive deductive का. So if you have observed that each time you throw something, each time you put something, it goes down. Each time. Now you say, whenever something is thrown from a height, it will go down. So according to Locke, it has become a generalization. But this generalization itself is based on experience. हमें ये पहले पता नहीं था. After experience, we got to know it. ठीक है? So this is known as a posteriori theory of knowledge. Then second, kinds of knowledge. Second heading, kinds of knowledge. Kinds of knowledge. अब इसमें हम तीनों टाइप्स लिख लेते हैं. First, सब पार्ट, intuitive knowledge. Intuitive knowledge. It is the immediate perception of agreement and disagreement. It is the immediate perception of agreement and disagreement between ideas. Between ideas. Full stop. It does not require mediation of other ideas. It does not require mediation of other ideas. Full stop. Intuitive knowledge is characterized by highest degree of certainty. Intuitive knowledge is characterized by highest degree of certainty. Highest degree of certainty, as it is immediate, complete, and definite. As it is immediate, complete, and definite. There is no room for doubt. There is no room for doubt in intuitive knowledge. Example. कई सारे एग्जाम्पल्स लिखवा देती हूँ, 2-3 है. First example, we intuitively know that a thing cannot be read and not read at the same time. Or a thing cannot exist and not exist at the same time. A thing cannot exist and not exist at the same time. Or we intuitively know that black is not white. We intuitively know that black is not white. Second example. We have authentic, certain, intuitive knowledge of our own self. We have authentic, certain, intuitive knowledge of our own self. Third, we intuitively know that every cause has an effect, or every effect has a cause. We intuitively know that every effect has a cause. So intuitive knowledge समझ में आ गई? What is the intuitive knowledge? Something which is immediate, which does not require mediation of anything. So like if I say you white is white, पता है ना, मतलब it's so obvious. And if I say this is not black, you'll say पता है, this is so obvious. So things which are very obvious are intuitively known. Like if you see something, some effect, you immediately want to know what is the cause. So immediately light lights up somewhere and you want to see kahan se on hui, from where it get on. Was it someone who pulled the switch or something? So immediately. Similarly, according to Locke, we intuitively know about our soul. There is no doubt. No one can deny that. It's an intuitive knowledge. ठीक है? पक्का? आप बड़े हो दिल से, पैसे के लिए नहीं. Okay, हर्षिता. Okay, demonstrative knowledge. Demonstrative knowledge. It is the knowledge by deduction. It is the knowledge by deduction or mediate knowledge. It is the knowledge by deduction or mediate knowledge. In other words, when agreement or disagreement In other words, when agreement or disagreement between two ideas, agreement or disagreement between two ideas is mediated by a third idea, then it is known as demonstrative knowledge. Then it is known as demonstrative knowledge. Full stop. Here, knowledge is acquired. Here, knowledge is acquired with the help of proofs, logic, with the help of proofs, logic. That is, there is a series of logical steps which must be followed to reach demonstrative knowledge. Full stop. Demonstrative knowledge starts with intuitive knowledge. Demonstrative knowledge starts with intuitive knowledge, and through many levels and steps, it leads to demonstrative knowledge. Through many steps and levels, it reaches demonstrative knowledge. Therefore, it can also be seen as two-tier intuitive knowledge. Therefore, it can be seen as two-tier intuitive knowledge. Next point. Demonstrative knowledge is inferior to intuitive knowledge. Demonstrative knowledge is inferior to intuitive knowledge in certainty, as it is indirect. Example, knowledge of mathematics, comma, knowledge of ethics, and knowledge of God. Knowledge of ethics and knowledge of God. So what is demonstrative knowledge? Ankit, इसे रखना. Who can tell points? Anyone who can tell 4 points will win a coffee. हाँ ठीक है. Okay. ठीक है. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. Second, explain. अपनी आदत आज ही ठीक करो. So we have to be very to the point. How many of you have seen toppers' answers? Have you seen? So one thing that you find is to the point, है ना? This is a human tendency to explain too much, है ना? So recently, I am taking ethics classes also. So the biggest problem of answer writing in ethics or any such thing is, you people you want to explain, and then you people want to show off that, you know, now that I know the point, this means I will explain it to the fullest, There should not be any doubt left in the mind of examiner that I did knew that point. But problem is the space and time are limited. Other points will be left out. Okay, fine. First point you have said, second point you have said that it is an inferior knowledge. Then third, it's an indirect knowledge. Perfect. Example, also give the example. Perfect. So you have won the coffee. है ना? आज fulfill कर लेंगे. आज नहीं तो Monday को we will fulfill the coffee. So we have 3 candidates for coffee, right? 4. Now 4. Okay. Fine. Okay, next, sensitive knowledge. Sensitive knowledge. It is the knowledge regarding particular external object. It is the knowledge regarding particular external object second point, it is knowledge of world derived from sense experience. It is knowledge of world derived from sense experience. Sense experience, full stop. It is the knowledge of physical sciences. It is the knowledge of physical sciences found in nature. Example, tree, table, etc. Second, next point. Strangely, Locke, who is an empiricist. Strangely, Locke, who is an empiricist, accepts intuitive and demonstrative knowledge to be certain and authentic. Claims himself to be an empiricist, but accept intuitive and demonstrative knowledge to be certain and authentic. While he is relegating का मतलब क्या होता है? What is the meaning of relegating? Downgrading, putting down. So you can write putting down also, relegating also. Relegating the sensitive knowledge to be the least authentic as it may produce false knowledge sometimes. As it may produce false knowledge sometimes. Full stop. As he says, sensitive knowledge is neither certain. As he says, sensitive knowledge is neither certain nor universal. At best, it can be probable only. At best, it can be probable only. Sensitive knowledge is the knowledge of objects which we gain through sense experience. But as an empiricist, what blunder did he do? He has accepted intuitive and demonstrative knowledge to be more clearer, more authentic, more certain, and putting down sensitive knowledge as least authentic, non-universal, and at most probable. But remember, he started with empiricism. There is this, we will criticize this. Okay. Then third heading, validity of knowledge. Then validity of knowledge. Locke has accepted correspondence theory of knowledge. Locke has accepted correspondence theory of knowledge. Underline, highlight correspondence theory of knowledge. That is, knowledge is true only if there is a reality corresponding to it. Knowledge is true only if there is a reality corresponding to it. Ajay, you people have started writing fast. Have you observed? What is the percentage that has improved in your writing speed? 35%. That's a good improvement. और जो स्लो लिखते थे पहले, स्लो वाले भी हैं क्या? अब जीएस में नहीं छूटता. और कोई जो पहले स्लो लिखता हो? जीएस में स्लो रहता है तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. क्यों? बैठे रहो. अच्छा, और देख रहे हो, ओवर क्वालिफिकेशन की प्रॉब्लम्स है इन्हें, है ना? हाँ, बराबर ही है. Let's beat him then. चलो अब तुम्हें और तेज करती हूँ फिर मैं, है ना? करे थोड़ा सा 1 नॉच. नहीं नहीं, राइटिंग खराब नहीं करनी है, बट यू विल हैव टू, देखो, this is the mindset that you have developed, that we cannot write faster than this, maintaining our handwriting. Okay, show me your copy. Is he part of your class? Can you see? Is it a bad handwriting? No, it's a good handwriting. ठीक है? अच्छा, show me your copy. See the copy. देखो पेंसिल से डब्बे भी हैं, है ना? See, at this speed, this means that even if I increase 1 notch higher, she'll be able to write, है ना? अच्छा, एक बॉय का भी देखो, दिखाओ. मतलब वो अभी बॉय का एक और बॉय का देख लो. बट जनरली बॉयज आर मोर यू नो इन द फीलिंग पे. हम तो लिख ही नहीं सकते. वी विल नॉट इम्प्रूव. वी विल रिमेन लाइक दिस ओनली. कैन यू सी दिस? इज इट अ बैड हैंड राइटिंग? कैन यू सी दैट गुड हैंड राइटिंग? नहीं दिख रही? पास आके देख. This means that writing with a good handwriting in a speed is possible. है ना? Now just don't tell me, ma'am, we are undeserving. तो बहाने नहीं. It will improve, है ना? It will improve. Important is that you first have to remove your mental blockade that if we will write fast, our writing will go bad. First. Secondly, you all can write fast. You all can write fast, and writing fast, reading fast is very essential. Very, very essential. है ना? If you just read, like, have you seen people reading newspaper whole day? At least half a day. And if you are just reading newspaper for half a day, when will you read other things? If you are just reading one topic per day, how will you complete the syllabus? You know? And then people say UPSC is very difficult, very, 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 very difficult. it's like you will have to increase your capability because the job demands so. So don't tell me that we are not able to improve our handwriting or we are not, because ultimately you all have to complete your paper. And there is no other way we can practice writing fast. Actually, I really want to, give you these notes by photostat. It will be very easy for my life. And I really get bored dictating all these things because this is not very interesting. Dictating is not a very interesting job, but I'm forced to do it because you people will not write fast if I don't do it. And this practice, if I don't make you do, I teach you only philosophy. Then at the end, if you come to me and cry, ma'am, we knew everything, but we could not write. तो 2 थप्पड़ में सिखाओगे, मतलब पढ़ाया भी, मेहनत भी करी, है ना? उसके बाद लिख कर भी नहीं आए, है ना? This is really bad for a teacher, है ना? So I cannot tolerate that. Not for you people. I am doing it for myself, है ना? I cannot tolerate substandard failure students. So for that I have to dictate and make you fast. ठीक है? So be focused and write. And when you are writing, don't put this thing into your mind. Our handwriting will go down or anything. No, you can maintain that. Just have a resolve that I will write good handwriting and I will write fast. Okay? Okay, I'm increasing 1 notch higher. Validity of knowledge. Locke has accepted correspondence theory of knowledge. That is, knowledge is true only if there is a reality corresponding to it. Second point, simple ideas are true as they are produced by simple ideas are true as they are produced by objects and they cannot be false. And they cannot be false. Next point, complex ideas of modes and relations. Complex ideas of modes and relations are also accepted as true. Are also accepted as true as they are the pattern of mind's own making. As they are the patterns of mind's own making. Own making. अपने दिमाग ने खुद ही बनाया है ना? Own making. But the idea of substance may or may not be true. But the idea of substance may or may not be true. First stop. If corresponding to them, there is an object, then they are true, else they are untrue. Then they are true, else they are untrue. Problem with correspondence theory. What is the problem with correspondence theory? We cannot, problem of correspondence theory, we cannot reach out to the external world. We cannot reach out to the external world to know whether there is an object, corresponding to an idea, whether there is an object corresponding to an idea existing really or not. To the idea existing really or not. Really or not. देखो मैं तुम्हें एक बात बताती हूँ, यहाँ पे बच्चे ने एक लिखा है कि आपके बताए हुए पेन पकड़ने के तरीके से बहुत हेल्प हुई, है ना? So पेन पकड़ने के तरीका is one thing. Second thing is posture of your body also. Now I see all of you, है ना? So posture is also sometimes wrong. Like your posture is wrong. If you bend too much, what happens? There will be pressure on your back. If you write it for 3 hours, then you will have back pain, neck pain, है ना? Even if you put your weight of your body on your hands, limbs, what will happen? This will start paining after 3 hours. And if you have to write another exam again, after you have to write in your mains, so you cannot actually, maintain a bad posture. You have to learn writing in a good posture. How do you do it? You keep your copies stable. Right now, you people are writing in paper, copies. But when you write it in exam, it's a sheets. Like sheets in the sense, patli copy. Right? So how do you keep it stable? Either with your hand or either with your arm. And then you write. And when you write, you keep your shoulders straight. Don't bend onto the copy too much. Okay? Try. Initially, it will be difficult. And your posture is also wrong. How? Bending too much on the... No problem. So what you can do ना? Take... बगल में किसी को बैठने मत दिया करो. Take the board of another chair. है ना? Take the board of another chair and try to write straight only. Because this will hamper your speed. Okay, continue. So do you understand this validity of knowledge? What is it? According to Locke, knowledge is true only if it is, if the correspondingly you find the object in the world. Now simple ideas are always true because these are the direct experiences. If you are feeling hot, it's hot. If you see something blurred white, it's blurred white. Right? But the moment your interpretation goes, then you can be wrong. But the experience or simple ideas can never be wrong. Now in complex ideas also, complex ideas of modes or relations, they are again your making of your own mind. So there is no point of true and false. Because 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Relation that you have established. Similarly, modes. So whiteness, there is no point of being wrong and right. The concept of beauty, whatever you consider your beauty is, your standards of beauty are, so that are true for you. So there is no option of true and untrue. Problem arises only with the concept of substance. Now, if I have in my mind a complex substance of bottle, and if there is really a bottle outside, then my idea or complex idea of bottle is true. But if I have a complex idea of golden bottle in my mind, but is there a golden bottle? No. Therefore, the complex idea of substance, that is the golden bottle, becomes false. So the truth or validity of reality is that if I have an idea, it must be present. Related to substance, it must be present outside in the world. But problem of this correspondence theory is to know that this object is corresponding to the idea in my mind. I must know both. But can I know this object? What can I know about this object? Only the qualities that I experience. Maybe there are 10,000 qualities, but my sense organs can perceive only 1,000. So we don't know what is actually out there. The image that we create in our mind is only based on our limited experience. So to say that the idea in my mind is the same as the object outside, I must know both. But can I come outside of my experience and see? I cannot. So there is this problem of correspondence theory. थोड़ा deep है ये, थोड़ा imagine करना पड़ेगा. समझ में आ रहा है? किसी को समझ में आया? अच्छा, आ गया. पक्का? किस किस को नहीं आया? Okay. So correspondence theory says, supposedly, this is an object which is of white color. Fine. And this is you. You have specks of red color. So what is the image your mind is for making? Red object. But now you are saying the idea in my mind and the object are same. But are they same? No. Why are they not same? How do you know? Only if you remove them. But supposedly the specs are permanent. Will you ever be able to know that the object is actually white? So now if you are saying the idea in my mind and the object are same, you must know the object first. समझ में आ रहा है? ऑब्जेक्ट तो पता ही नहीं है आपको. ऑब्जेक्ट के तो सिर्फ सेंसेशंस आए जो कि रेड थे. बट द रियल ऑब्जेक्ट इज एक्चुअली white. But you cannot come out of your own experience. Like, do you know there are cosmic rays? Do you know there are microwaves, electrostatic, electromagnetic waves? You all know that? And in this room also there might be some electromagnetic waves. Can you see them? Can you experience them? Now I am saying, देखो ये रहा एक electromagnetic wave. Then how do you prove it? कैसे प्रूव करोगे? समझ में आ रहा है? That to see something you will have to come out of your own experience because you are limited. We are bound in a body which is very limited. So it's like our eyes are those specks. Our eyes cannot watch beyond visual range. And if we are saying that the object outside is similar to the image in my mind, then I must know both the image in my mind and the object outside. But the object outside cannot be known because only way we can know that object is senses, and through those senses I have made my image. But whatever I am not able to sense, can I talk about that also? No. So this is the problem of correspondence theory. थोड़ा deep है, थोड़ा बैठ के 2 seconds सोच लो what we are talking about. Read the paragraph. वैसे क्वेश्चन कभी नहीं आएगा, बट पढ़ लो. You can apply it somewhere. हो गया? पक्का? हाँ, of course. फॉल्स भी हो सकता है, बिल्कुल फॉल्स भी हो सकता है. ओके, पक्का. तो यहाँ पे सिंपल आइडिया ऑफ रेड इज ट्रू. दिस पर्सन इज एक्सपीरियंसिंग रेड. It's like if we are looking from the, we are comparing it to the reality, then he is wrong. But whatever he is experiencing, he is experiencing. True for him. But if we apply correspondence theory, false. So correspondence theory is in itself a very, so dekho, if you understand the correspondence theory, it's like your mind has taken a new leap. है ना? It will not be asked as a question, but it's a new dimension of opening your mind. Because somewhere or the other, it might be useful in one answer or two answers, just as a mention. But if you mention, you must understand it like this. है ना? So correspondence theory says, in simple terms, we don't know the world. We know this world only through our sense experience. And whatever we are sensing is based on the limitations put by our sense organs. So if our eyes says that only visual range, then this means that even if this world spreads across microwaves to magnetic waves, still we can know only visual range. So it is like there is this huge spectrum, and in this spectrum only this is the range which we can see. Only this range we can see. On the basis of this range, whatever we are perceiving, we are saying that this perception that we are having is forming an image in our mind. This is the image in our mind. Now we are saying that this thing which is outside is X, and this is forming an image of X in our mind. When we say this image and this X are same, this X and this image are same or copies of each other, then we must know this to tell the copy. है ना? राम रहीम के जैसा है तो हमें पहले राम देखना होगा, फिर रहीम देखना होगा. Only then we can say that X is similar to or same as Y, identical to Y. लेकिन तब दोनों पता होने चाहिए. But can we ever know this? Because out of this, maybe we will be able to know only this much. Therefore, we can never say that image in our mind is exactly same as that the object. We can't say because we don't know the object except by sensations. If we have not sensed, we cannot say. Example again. How many of you have mobile phones? All of you have? So, you know, there are a lot of germs on our phones. But do you feel and do you see them when you put your phone on your face? समझ में आ रहा है? कैसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो होंगी लेकिन हमें परसीव. So object हमें नहीं पता exactly कैसा है. We are forming the image according to our own abilities of perception. जितना हम perceive कर पा रहे हैं, हम तो बस उतनी ही image बना रहे हैं. That is why we cannot say object and image are corresponding to each other. Because to say this, we must know the object completely. समझ में आ गया? पक्का? All of you? Any doubt? Sure? दिमाग ने खुद बनाया, अपने आप बनाया ना. So it's like you formed a concept of beauty in your mind, and that concept of beauty is true for you. Random, not a very important thing. He'll again be proven wrong. Don't worry. This is that certain things they have accepted as true and false based on their own understanding. But all of this, half of his theories will be proven wrong by later philosophers. And most of it is will be gone by Berkeley. जो थोड़ा बहुत बचेगा वो ह्यूम डिमोलिश कर देगा, और बचेगा तो वो मूर और स्ट्रॉसन खत्म कर देगा. डोंट वरी, दिल पे मत लो लॉक को, है ना. क्या है? We know the things through sense, but we can't check it because the only way to know things is through sense. Perfect. Very, very right, कमलेश. क्या नीचे करना कुछ है? Ma'am, if you don't mind, can you explain again problem with Corona? हाँ, Harshita, now is it okay? Have you understood? ठीक है? Every perception, all the 5 sense organs. अभी तो तुम इंडियन फिलोसफी में चलो तो पता चलेगा. अच्छा, you people understand how limited we are, है ना? How limit. अच्छा, इससे पहले तक किस किस को लगता था कि हम बहुत, हाँ, you people used to feel that whatever I see or whatever I hear is the final verdict types, हाँ, थोड़ा बहुत लगता था. But actually we are very limited. We cannot perceive beyond our visual sense. We cannot hear beyond our auditory limit. We cannot, even our touch sense is very limited. Have you do you hear about painless injections? What are painless injections? So in your skin, to feel pain, there must be their receptors, है ना? And there must be a particular size to make you feel pain. एक size है जिससे कि आपको feel होगा वो pain. But if you reduce the needles dimension below that dimension where you feel pain, then you will not feel pain. This means that if hundreds of needles are poked in you, but only if the dimension is less than the one of your pain receptor, then you will not feel pain. Limited, isn't it? There are a lot of things which you can view, which you touch, but you cannot understand. Like this surface, which might be appearing smooth to you, but is it smooth? See it under an electron microscope. You will understand how rough it is. So similarly, all our senses are very, very, very limited. That is why we perceive the world in a very limited sense. But in actuality, the world is very vast and very, very vast. So recently, there were certain fishes who were discovered and they had certain regenerative capabilities. Like starfish, you must have heard about. So starfish can regenerate itself. Similarly, there are certain fishes, certain marine organisms which can actually regenerate themselves completely. Recently, there is a research going on in some proto-bacteria of Siberia, which have such elongated lifespan, and they have this tendency whereby any cell which becomes tired or maybe ill or degenerated, so this cell dies and a new one comes up. So it is like anti-aging, permanent anti-aging. And there is this research going on. So this means that such things are going on in this world only. It is just that we are not capable of such things. But yes, this is possible. ठीक है? तो समझ में आ गया कितने insignificant और कितने limited हो? Okay, fine. Okay, limits of knowledge. Next heading, limits of knowledge. Locke himself accepted that many things are either too big or too small. Locke himself accepted that many things are either too big or too small. Therefore, we cannot have clear perception of them. Therefore, we cannot have clear perception of them. Example, atoms and galaxies. Examples, atoms and galaxies. Therefore, he says, our knowledge of this physical world, is not certain. Our knowledge of this physical world is not certain. Therefore, he accepts only intuitive and demonstrative knowledge. Therefore, he accepts only intuitive and demonstrative knowledge to be certain and necessary. Second point. According to Locke, we can never know the matter in itself. We can never know the matter in itself. And we can know only qualities. Okay. Then second last topic or third last topic, representative realism of Locke. Also known as epistemological dualism. Very simple, also known as three-factor theory. Three-factor theory of knowledge. So there is this object. There is this object. There is this knower. There is this knower. And between this object and knower is sensations. And in this knower is then idea of this object. Clear? So how many factors are there? Object, sensation, idea. Three factors. Okay. This is representative realism. Object is represented in the mind of knower. Now, on the basis of this idea, knower is saying that something real is outside. आपके दिमाग में टेबल कुछ दिख रही है तभी तो आपने बोला there is table outside. So this means they accept object to be as real as is image in the mind. They accept both. If we know only qualities, then qualities are in the mind. You know only qualities. How do you know that there is an external object? But these people accept it. That is why they are known as representative realism. And epistemologically, there are two things we know: object and ideas. Therefore, epistemological dualism. कुछ नहीं है, जो हमें पता था उसी का अलग अलग नाम. लिखवा दूं? पक्का? तुम्हारे चेहरे पे मुझे ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है कि कुछ, हाँ, कुछ डामाडोल सा है. कुछ नहीं है. ऑब्जेक्ट, नोअर, नॉलेज. नोन, नॉलेज, नोअर. पक्का? क्लियर? So there are these three factors. This thing is known as three factor theory. Yes, we know two things: object and, so you know the apple. One is you know the table. Other is you also know that you have the idea of table. So you know two things: table and the idea of table in your mind. Two things. Epistemological dualism. What is representative realism? They accept that object is also real, and this idea in your mind is the representation of this object. True representation of this object. ये जो टेबल है, ये जो टेबल हमें दिख रही है, यही टेबल हमारे दिमाग में आइडिया बना रही है. So this is the representation, that I in my mind have the representation of this object which is actually present in the world. Normal conception जो हम समझते हैं, जो normal way of thinking. Okay, right? लिख लिया heading? You can write all the three headings. According to representative realism, objects exist outside. Objects exist outside and independent. Objects exist outside and independently. Full stop. According to this theory, objects are real, which form their representative in our mind as ideas. Which form their representative in our mind as ideas. In essence, full stop, in essence, it is not possible to know the external object. In essence, it is not possible to know the external object directly. Therefore, we infer the presence of objects on the basis of, therefore we infer the presence of objects on the basis of perceived ideas. On the basis of perceived ideas. It is also known as epistemological dualism. It is also known as epistemological dualism, as we know both. We know both objects and ideas. Further, it is known as three-factor theory. Further, it is known as three-factor theory as it has three factors of number one, knower. Knower. Number two, idea. Number three, object. Now we come to the best part. That is criticism. So tell me, you people criticize. What is wrong with Locke's theory? So he showed rationalistic tendencies, even though he was an empiricist. Number two, supposed support of qualities. Supposition is an act of rationalism. He should not be supposing as an empiricist. His acceptance of God, which is not experienced. Yes. So my modern psychology says that there are certain unexpressed ideas already present in our mind. Therefore, his rejection or his criticism of innate ideas, that particular criticism is not valid. प्रूफ नहीं मानेंगे, मतलब ये इतना उतना वैलिड नहीं है लेकिन उतना वैलिड नहीं है. He goes against his own explanation by calling sensitive knowledge as the least authentic. Yes, kept sensitive knowledge as the least authentic. What else? His definition of primary and secondary qualities, very problematic. More than one substances. Okay. यहाँ पे आ जाएगा ना. Okay. First, Locke has accepted abstract ideas. First, Locke has accepted abstract ideas and his treatment of mathematical knowledge is similar to rationalists. Full stop. As an empiricist, he should not have accepted abstract ideas. As an empiricist, he should not have accepted abstract ideas. What is matter? Abstraction? A kind of an abstraction? Generalization, basically. Second, Locke has accepted matter as supposed support of qualities. Locke has accepted matter as supposed support of qualities, but supposition is an act of thinking. Supposition is an act of thinking. Therefore, rationalistic. Next, Locke has rejected innate ideas by saying that if ideas are present in mind, that if ideas are present in mind, then they must be expressed. Then they must be expressed. But modern psychology claims many unexpressed ideas exist in our mind. Many unexpressed ideas exist in our mind. और बताओ, बहुत सारे हैं. Second, Locke says that simple ideas are received by mind in linear fashion. Simple ideas are received by mind in linear fashion. But modern psychology says that we experience aggregate of ideas. We experience aggregate of ideas and not one by one. Fifth, in process of creating complex ideas, he accepts. In process of creating complex ideas, he accepts abstraction and naming. Abstraction and naming, which goes against empiricism. Next, Locke accepts mind to be passive while receiving sensations. But modern psychology says that mind remains active. Next, Locke accepted material object as inactive. But how can he know? So Locke accepted material objects as inactive. But how can he know, as there is no means to reach? As there is no means to reach the object. As there is no means to reach the object. Further, how can an inactive material originate ideas? How can an inactive material originate ideas? Next, Locke's distinction of primary and secondary qualities. Locke's distinction between primary and secondary qualities is not empirically justifiable. Locke's distinction of primary and secondary qualities is not empirically justifiable, as both are experienced simultaneously and overlappingly. Full stop. Our cognition of primary qualities also depend on our cognition of primary qualities also depends on our cognition of secondary qualities. That is, example, extension can be perceived only by perceiving color. Extension can be perceived only by perceiving color. अच्छा, कौन इस स्पीड पे लिख पा रहा है? कौन कौन नहीं लिख पा रहा है? पोस्टर नहीं लिखाया जा रहा होगा ना, शुरुआत में प्रॉब्लम आएगी बेटा, है ना? Actually, we become habitual of a posture, and when we change posture, it becomes very difficult to adapt to the new posture. But if you will practice, it will, benefit you in the long run, है ना? जैसे अभी मैं बताऊं सबसे सही पोस्चर किसका है? ये ठीक लगता है लड़का, है ना? हर पोस्चर इज ऑल्सो राइट, हर पोस्चर इज ऑल्सो sufficiently right, है ना? So you people have to see your posture. अभी ठीक कर लोगे, हो जाएगा, because you have sufficient time to correct your posture of writing. But if you try to correct it before exam, it won't happen. First, secondly, you should not. तब तो खराब पोस्चर है, खराब ही रहने दो, है ना? एग्जाम दो चुपचाप से. This is the time you can correct it, because I'll tell you what happens. Health issues start coming, है ना? So you people, right now you people might be thinking, थोड़ा सा ही तो लिखना है. In that stressful condition, 3 hours, then 3 hours, and during your mains, you people generally will feel that you can't sleep very peacefully, है ना? So the body is already very tired, and in that situation, if you have a bad posture, so neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, all of these come really, really bad. I have seen so many people, so many friends rather, studied the whole year, but in those times of mains, in those 20 days of just near mains, so many people fall ill. You people have never given mains, right? How many of you have given mains? You have given mains once. Do you feel how many people actually fall ill? So in hostels, the most important commodity is medicine. Yes, people take it like वो रात को 2 बजे आएंगे, पैरासीटामोल है क्या? है. So why? Because it's a tiring, and this is because of number of things, of course, and one of them is the posture. And it will take time, but it will get corrected. Okay, fine. Two hours in between. 2 hours means you have to finish, you have to come out of it, out of the hall, take lunch, revise the next paper, and then go. It's not enough time. Okay. Where were we? Color or solidity by touch, or solidity by touch. Hence, distinction is not logical. Hence, distinction is not logical. Next, Locke has accepted 3 types of knowledge. Locke has accepted 3 types of knowledge. But he accepts intuitive knowledge to be most authentic. Intuitive knowledge to be most authentic, and sensitive knowledge to be least authentic. And sensitive knowledge to be least authentic. But as an empiricist, he should have prioritized sensitive knowledge. As an empiricist, he should have prioritized sensitive knowledge. Next, acceptance of God by Locke is rational in basis. Acceptance of God by Locke is rational in basis, as there is no experience of God. As there is no experience of God. Next, his assumption of material and spiritual substance is criticized by his assumption of material and spiritual substance is criticized by Berkeley and Hume. Is criticized by Berkeley and Hume, as it goes against empiricism. Next, correspondence theory. Correspondence theory cannot be accepted. Cannot be accepted. As there is no logical ground to say, as there is no logical ground to say that ideas represent external objects. Ideas represent external objects as we can never perceive the external object in itself. As we can never perceive the external object in itself. And can know only qualities. And can know only qualities compatible to our sense organs. Compatible qualities compatible to our sense organs. Full stop. Further, we cannot verify. Further, we cannot verify the faithfulness of representation. We cannot verify the faithfulness of representation. और चाहिए? और लिख ले तो चलो लिख लो, जब तक मना नहीं करोगे तब तक बातें जाएंगे. हाँ, इतना क्या, आधा भी यूज नहीं आएगा है. किसी को इतना बुरा भला क्यों कहे? अच्छा ठीक है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. चाहो तो एक वो लिख लो, रिप्रेजेंटेशनलिज्म ऑफ लॉक विल बी क्रिटिसाइज्ड बाय बर्कले. वैसे हम करेंगे ही उसको, कोई पॉइंट नहीं है, छोड़ दो. इंपॉर्टेंस लिखोगे? इंपॉर्टेंस तो लिख लो, 2-4 इंपॉर्टेंस लिख लो बस. एस्टिमेट, हाँ, इंपॉर्टेंस एस्टिमेट. इंपॉर्टेंस लिख लो. क्या अच्छा क्या करा आदमी ने? देखो, कोई भी आदमी की बुराई करने के बाद ये जरूर बताना चाहिए दैट जो भी हुआ आदमी अच्छा था, है ना. हाँ, टेल मी व्हाट वी कैन राइट. he was the pioneer in empiricism, है ना. he pioneered a new revolutionary thought, number 1. Second, अरे वाह, bridge the gap between science and philosophy. Next, Yes, psychological atomism, है ना? Psychological atomism he brought in and made huge contribution to psychology. Huge contributions to psychology. Okay. Yes, he brought emphasis on epistemology. Before him, everybody was concerned with only metaphysics. Nobody actually tried to know how do we know things, है ना? So he was the first one to emphasize on epistemology. Put limits to the, clarified the limits to our knowledge. Before that, we didn't even realize that we are limited, है ना? He put that limits to our knowledge. Wow. Actually, yes. He removed the dogmatism of rationalism. तुम लोग खुद ही अब लिख सकते हो यार. Inspired the future empiricists like Berkeley and Hume. क्या ही लिखवाऊं तुम लोगों को, सब आ गया है तुम लोगों को. तुम लोग ज्यादा कॉम्पिटेंट नहीं हो गए हो? हाँ. ठीक है, हो गया लॉक. मंडे से बर्कले टेस्ट बता रही हूँ. So your test will be on what is the day on 12th? ऑनलाइन वाले. अरे यार तुम लोग याद मत दिलाओ, अभी उन्हें, वो शांत बैठे हुए हैं. मैम, कॉफी विद यू फॉर ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स वेरी हंग्री फॉर सक्सेस. सो ऑनलाइन पीपल के लिए कुछ और करना पड़ेगा, उनको कॉफी नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन 12 को सैटरडे है और 15 को क्या है? 15 को तो छुट्टी है. 16 को, 16th को, व्हाट इज द डे? वेडनेसडे. क्या 16th को क्यों चाहिए तुम्हें हॉलीडे? So maybe on 16th let's have test. हाँ, अच्छा सुनो, अच्छा तुम लोगों को बहुत जल्दी चाहिए. ओके, 16 ठीक है, पक्का? ओके, so 16th it is. ठीक है, 16 whatever have been completed till will come into your syllabus. 10 शुरुआत में 10 लिख लो. तुम लोग उसी में छोड़ रहे हो, पूरा पेपर दे दिया तो तुम, है ना? फर्स्ट लेट अस पुट यू टू अ पर्टिकुलर कंफर्टेबल पोजीशन, है ना? ओके, एंड दिस टाइम वी विल डू वन मोर थिंग. we will see how we can check each other's copy, not friends, है ना? So your copies will be given to the person who is least liking you in the class. मुझे सब पता है, मुझे पता है. अब देखो, उन दोनों की कॉपीज उन दोनों को तो देनी नहीं है ना? भाई भाई हैं ये दोनों, दोस्त हैं, इनको भी नहीं देनी. तो वो दोनों दोस्त हैं, उनको भी नहीं देनी. तो मतलब आई कैन आइडेंटिफाई किसको देनी है ना? सबसे कम मार्क्स जिसको दिलवाने हो उसकी कॉपी उसको दे दो. है ना? या इसको दे दो. हाँ, ये ये भी, हाँ तुम है ना। अब अरे इतनी सीधी बच्ची है, इसको कॉपी दे देंगे, ये ज्यादा नंबर दे देगी है ना क्या? नहीं 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 no no, actually I want you to, so why I want you to do this, because it's very important to get into the mindset of the examiner. So when somebody is checking a copy, that's a different mindset than the one who is writing it, है ना. Until and unless you get into that mindset, you will never identify what to write and how to write and what to and where to present it. So when you see 10 copies, 20 copies, है ना, then you actually realize, अच्छा ऐसे तो नहीं लिखना चाहिए, है ना, या ऐसे लिखना चाहिए, है ना. This is how you should write. You will see 10 copies and you know, and when you are reading and you can see the non clarity in the answer, or you can see the ambiguity in the answer, then you will realize that what ambiguity looks like to an examiner, and how you feel like you take a pen and cross it. And then next time you will be writing your answer, what will you do? You will keep in mind that I have to maintain clarity. Rather, one copy will not suffice. Actually, what is ideally should be done, that one person should check at least 10 copies of the same paper, 10 or 15 copies, to understand how it feels. So when you read one first copy, interesting. Second copy of the same questions, okay. Third, you start getting a little monotonous. Fourth, fifth, monotonous. Seventh, eighth, boring. Ninth, 10th, you start feeling, let's finish fast. And 15th copy you reach. Till then you have set something in your mind, and then you check with the speed, and then it comes to you what you have to look in a copy. So that is why it's like in my GS, what we are doing in ethics and other things. So we have done this. So now ethics copies we have given to a student. So each time we will allocate a student, and we are giving 15 copies to one student. Check करके लाओ. अब वो check करके लाते हैं तो they are like they understand. So they only come. Example तो लिखा ही नहीं है. No, it's a test only. Keep it as a test only first. है ना? So let's keep it as a test, and we will give you test copies. And online student, we have also developed a mechanism from our GS batch that online students are also given copies. So, but problem is online people fight too much. है ना? So one like, इसने मुझको marks ही नहीं दिए. So ऐसे नहीं करना. But online people also we send the copies on your email. मैम ऑनलाइन वालों को भी बता दो मैम, हमें भी चाहिए एग्जामिनर वाला माइंडसेट. Oh yes, Avinash. So you will also get copies. Don't worry. I'll ask the people to manage how they can do it, है ना? So in GS, what we are doing, we are collecting the copies online. We make a batch of 10 copies and send it to one student of online. Then they check, and then we see how they check and correct them. Okay, fine. So 16th we take the test, and Monday we start with Berkeley. Fine. Okay, bye bye. Your shiny highlighters.